Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Spiritual Growth Journeys. How are you all doing? Hope you're well wherever you're at. So this video is going to be all about the messages I got. I sat down and had a Q&A with the dude that people call Jesus Christ. I call him Yeshua ben Yosef, or Yeshua the Christ. His name's actually pronounced Yeshua, but a lot of people like to say Yeshua because it's easier. I had a little question and answer session with him because I was extremely honestly upset when I saw videos the other day stating that the three-letter organization that starts with W and ends with O, and all the other three-letter organizations have already planned the next PANDEMIC. I'm going to be talking in code language in this whole video so that I can post it to both YouTube and Rumble. And the reason why is because I had several messages from people who are deaf or need closed captioning for some reason. They do not have closed captioning on Rumble, and they won't let me. I mean, when I post a video to Rumble, I can't do closed captioning, and there's a lot of people out there who are technically challenged. You can actually set it on your end to do closed captioning from what I heard. But if you're somebody who's technically challenged and you're a grandma lady or something, and I have a lot of people who follow me who are seniors and are not good with technology because it's not their fault. They didn't learn technology in their generation, and they're just learning it now, and they're just not into it, and that's understandable. And as a result, they don't know how to do it on their end. So when I download videos to Rumble, they don't allow me to choose closed captioning. It's not an option for video channels or video producers on Rumble, at least not for me. So I am putting this on both, but I'm going to have to speak in code. So you guys are going to have to bear with me because I'm going to have to spell a heck of a lot of things out to avoid getting my channel shut down on YouTube. And because this is going to be all very controversial stuff I'm going to talk about today. So I was really upset because of the three-letter organizations starting with W and ending with the O. And some other organizations have planned the next, you know what? And what they supposedly are doing is what these whistleblowers claim happened is that they put Marburg and what's the other thing called Ebola, which is a thing out of Africa. Both of them are out of Africa. They put those into some sort of encapsulation in each of the pokies, those things that you poke into the body. They put that in those. And what they said in the video, and these are really high level, reputable people that you could take for their word because they're getting the information from insider sources and military, I think is where it was coming from. I think it was coming from military. So the bad guys put Marburg and Ebola into those things, and it's in a form where they were going to send out, they said, 3 pulsating sound frequencies from 5G towers, and then the encapsulations inside of the bodies of the people who took the pokey, whatever you want to call it, were going to break, and then they would come down with Marburg and Ebola. And then they will bleed out of their eyes, down their face, out of their ears, out of their mouths, out of their noses, and they will die a violent, horrible death. And the death rate to those illnesses is about 90%. Okay, in some situations, it's 100%. It depends on your situation. If you're a really, really strong, healthy person, you may be lucky to be in that 10%, but the rest of the people are going to be the 90%. It would basically mean, and then they were going to mandate them worldwide. So basically it would mean everybody on Earth, 90% of the population dead, and dead. God will not allow this. Our creator, our prime creator, mother, father, God is unconditionally loving. And why the hell would I have incarnated now to supposedly watch the planet ascend, to not watch the planet ascend and watch everybody die instead? I did not sign up for that. Neither did you. I know you all didn't sign up for that. And I volunteered to come here and go to create New Earth, save the planet, create New Earth. And that is what I came here for. That's weird. I'm hearing music. Oh, it's coming from the bathroom. My daughter's playing music in the bathroom. I was like, where am I hearing music? Am I imagining? I hear music a lot. God communicates with me with music. I've talked to you all about that many, many, many times. Which actually I think I'm going to talk about that also in this video about a musical message I got recently. But anyways, so I heard this video. I was extremely upset. I was really disgusted, upset. I was kind of crying because I was thinking, what if that was in, my family, my husband, my kids, they all got that thing. They won't listen to me. They think I'm crazy pants, conspiracy, anti-you-know-whatter person. So they all took like 5 each of those things. And I'm like, I don't want to watch my family die violently where they bleed to death out of their face. I mean, I don't want to watch that. It's just horrible. So I decided I was going to have a chat with the boss, Yeshua, and ask him about not just that, but lots of questions about all these things that are going around social media, that are on videos that people are saying. I decided I was going to ask about all of them and find out what he has to say. And then I wanted to get messages from him for all of you to give you some kind of hope or something to look forward to. So I got a lot of messages from him to give to you. They're beautiful. And I have tissue here because there's a really good chance I'm going to be crying. So when I get messages from him, a lot of times I'm crying, because they're really profound messages. And he's amazing. And I am so blessed. And I just feel so grateful that I came into this life talking to him since I was a child, having communication with him and Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene since I was a little girl. I feel so honored and blessed and grateful that I have that in my life, because I'll be honest, if I didn't have it, I would have been dead a long time ago. So many times over, I could have checked out of this place. And the only reason I didn't is because of Christ, because of Yeshua, because of Christ consciousness, because of Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and Mother, Father, God supporting me and their love, and they're talking to me and helping me through everything. And also my belief in them, and my worshiping the creator, the prime creator that made my soul and made everything, I am that I am. If it wasn't for my relationship with the creator, I would have checked out of here a long time ago. I've had multiple times in my life where I was suicidal when I was young, because I've had a pretty awful life, actually. And it's interesting because I'm not sitting here. I don't come on videos and go on and on about my life story. In fact, nobody really knows my life story because I don't like to talk about it. It's kind of nobody's business. It's my business. I'm not one of these people that's here to share their whole life story of how this happened to them and they were abducted and they were ritually abused and on and on. That didn't happen to me. I have had some awful things. I was definitely the victim of a pedophile when I was young. And I've had many kind of similar kind of things. I've had men do all kinds of terrible things to me in my life. But I'm not here to share that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm here to share. But the reason I'm telling you this and even talking about it at all is just to say the point of the fact that if I didn't have God in my life, I didn't believe so strongly since I was a little child, I had this close connection to God. If I didn't have that, and if I didn't have my connection with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, I would have already been dead a long time ago, because I've had so many incidences in my life where I was extremely depressed and feeling suicidal. But because of them, I will not harm myself. So if anybody ever tells you in the future that I've killed myself, just know that somebody else did it to me. I didn't do it, because I would never do that. Number one, I wouldn't do that to God and to Yeshua, because I've promised to them that I'm here to continue his work. I've promised that to him. And I also have 2 children who I don't want to leave them without a mom, because I lost my mom. I was 40, what was I, 41 when I lost my mom, and that was bad enough. I couldn't imagine being 20 and losing your mom. I mean, my kids depend on me for so much. I'm their huge support system and cheerleader, and I don't think they'd make it without me. I mean, just like the way I couldn't make it without God, my kids, they need their mom. So if you ever hear that I've done something like that, just know that I was murdered, and hopefully you guys will all avenge that, because, that's all I have to say. So, and why am I saying that? Because this world is really effed up in so many ways. It's really bad. And there's a lot of good people getting killed. I've heard stories of, I'm not going to even say the names of people, but there's people who I've followed for years in the spiritual community who I found out were actually killed and replaced with clones. And I'm not going to say who they are because I don't want to be sued for defamation of character, but that there's a whole laundry list of famous people who were killed and replaced with clones by the deep state. So yeah, that's what they do to the spiritual community. So anyways, I have a huge message I'm going to go over with you today, and just bear with me. And the first one, let's see. Okay, so I wrote notes, and I'm going to go through my notes. My writing is really scribbled, so just seriously bear with me here when I read through this. So my first question, of course, was the question about the Marburg, and also HIV, that too, and Ebola, which they said are in all of those pokies. So I asked if those were put into the pokies, and they said yes. They were not put into all of them. They were put into a certain percentage of them. It doesn't really matter what percentage. And the reason I'm not going to tell you the percentage is because the answer to the question, I said, if so, what percentage? And they said, basically, no, we're not telling you, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, why not? And they said, and the answer from Yeshua was, heaven helped humans. That was his answer. He answered very succinctly, heaven helped humans. And I'm like, what do you mean by heaven helped humans? And he said, we helped everybody. We basically neutralized it. Okay, so whatever was in there, so they did, the bad guys had planned to basically rub out or kill 90% of the human population with this thing. They were going to turn on their 5G, and it was going to be massive zombie apocalypse with people bleeding out of their orifices. Now, this does happen on a timeline, but not on my timeline. So last night, you guys are going to love this. So last night, I actually travel the multiverse all the time, and I shut down timelines. It's not just me. I have a whole team of, there's thousands of us light workers who do this work, thousands of us. Okay. So I can't do it all by myself. I mean, there's no way in hell. There's thousands of us who do this multi-dimensional traveling. I shut down timelines. I shut down parallel universe garbage. I also travel back in time, and I stop people from getting murdered or things from happening that would ruin everything for us in this timeline, because the cabal goes back in time and they kill people, which is why Yeshua is not coming back again, because whoever was going to give birth to him would be slaughtered before she had a chance, because that's what these a-holes do. They time travel and they do terrible things. So I traveled last night. So after having my little chat with him and crying, I went and traveled to the other timeline where there was actually there was a famous country singer there. And I'm not going to tell you who it was, because I don't want to get lawsuited. But in that timeline, a certain famous country singer who everybody really loves was starting to bleed out of his eyes everywhere, and he had this thing. Okay. And I was there, and I was actually like part of the crew, like the people who, I was like a backup singer, actually. I was inside of the back, because I do what they call quantum leaping, like the TV show. I leap into people. So So when I was in one of the backup singers, and I was rescuing people to get away from this guy, because I knew this guy had this thing, and this guy was contagious with this thing, and he would have given it to everybody and killed a lot of people in this timeline. So what did I do? I shut down that timeline. I basically shut that timeline down that was created by these guys. So it doesn't exist anymore. Yay. But anyways, so on our timeline now, let's go back to this timeline that we're on. The answer from Yeshua is heaven help the humans. And when I said how, the answer was they basically neutralized or did something to this stuff, because it was put into everything and it was going to happen. It was all planned and they stopped it. Okay. So there's that. So I asked about my family because they've had 5 each of those things. And I said, are they going to come down with that stuff and kick the bucket in front of me? And he said, no, don't worry about it. They're fine. They're protected. And I said, will heaven allow this Marburg and this Ebola stuff to spread around the earth, period, and harm everybody at all? Is there any chance at all that this stuff will spread, whether it's through that or through them spraying it through chemtrails or however they try to kill us all? And they said, no. They said that will not happen, not to worry about it. Okay, next question. Will the country that has the red sun on the flag, the one that kills that certain country that practices communism, locks down entire cities where people have to fling themselves out of apartment buildings? I'm not going to say the name of the country because I'll get shut down on my channel. You guys all know it starts in a C and it ends in an A. And they have labs there that create, stuff. Okay. So I asked, will they invade the United States? Because that's something that is going around on videos, that they're going to invade us. And they said, nope. They said they won't actually do it. But there's going to be a fake invasion. Okay. So there's a big scare event that's coming, everybody. And the scare event that Yeshua says they're going to use is going to be very possibly, and there is a good chance that this gets changed as well. Okay. Because so I want you all to understand that the playbook of the White Hats, they have multiple different things they can do. One of the things is they do a fake Chinese invasion. And Yeshua said that is really high up on the list, that there's a really huge possibility they're going to do the Chinese invasion. But it's going to be fake. They're not really invading us. That's not really happening. It's basically fake. Okay. That's not going to happen. So, but they might try to scare everybody with that. Okay. And if they do, there'd be martial law. That would be a reason for it. What he said is that it's going to be used to create martial law so they can have us all in our house and watching the TV and all that kind of thing. I asked, will there be an actual WW3? They said, no, there won't be an actual WW3, but there's going to be a WW3 scare. So I also asked the dates of when these things are going to happen. And I've been told I cannot tell you guys these dates. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to. I was sworn to secrecy, but they gave me an approximate date, and that date can change. And let's just say it's soon and it's sometime this year. That's all I'm going to say. But they would basically do a scare event that we're going against the bear and the whatever that thing is. Yeah, we're going against the 2 countries that start with R and C. And there'd be a WW3, and that would be all part. And also the ones who start with C would be invading the United States. And that is what they're going to use as their big scare event. Okay, so next question is, will they do a fake alien invasion like Project Bluebeam, where we think there's millions of ships up there, or they use even their own ships, because we know they have ships that look like alien ships. Okay, so they could use their own and pretend they're aliens, even though it's really the military industrial complex ships, or what they call the SSP, that they've had since they've had ships like that since like the 1950s or something. So the answer to the question was no. And I want to chat with you guys about the reason that he gave me why they will never do the fake alien invasion. So I want you all to think logically about this. Get into your noodle and think about this. Okay. We have these amazing, got something in my eye. Got a lash in my eye. That hurt. Like hurts. We have these amazing, benevolent, good extraterrestrials that are here in our universe helping planet Earth right now. And they really badly want to be able to come down on the Earth's surface and chat with us and join us and hang out with us and all that kind of thing. If our governments, ours and other governments, were to say there was a fake alien invasion, what would that do? I'm going to ask you right now, what do you think that would do? What would that do to the minds of people and people's perception of our star family? What would that do? Well, it would make everybody who's not awake think, oh, they're all the ETs are bad. They're all bad. We must hate the ETs. They're the enemy and they're all bad and they all want to kill us or blow us up or whatever. That's what they would think. How would that benefit us? And how would we ever be able to join the Galactic Federation or whatever they call it now? They keep changing the name on a weekly basis of what this thing's called. But we know that there's a group of good ETs up there that, have their programs. How would we be able to join up with them if we all thought on Earth that they're bad and they want to invade us? Well, it would never happen. It would take us another 100, 200 years to get our shit together and stop being dumbasses and, get to join them. So I had, this is going to blow everybody's mind because this blew my mind. This is what information came through. Because the good ones really badly want to show themselves and they need a intelligent, smart way, a really smart way of introducing the good guys to us in a way that's non-threatening, that everybody will be happy, schmappy, everybody will be glad. This is what I got. What I got is they're going to scare everybody to death with fake WW3. And then down are going to come the ETs, the star family, and they're going to save us. They're going to put a stop to us, and they're going to get introduced in Washington or on TV. Somehow it's going to come that these are the guys that saved our planet. They're going to be the saviors. Why? Because then we're going to want to meet them and hang out with them and be friends with them. Wouldn't you want to hang out with Superman? If Superman came to Earth from Kryptonite or whatever planet he was from Krypton, or I can't remember what his planet was called. But if he was going to come to Earth and he saves people, don't people like all of a sudden go, it's Superman, oh my God, yay. And he's like our hero and everybody wants to meet him and worship him and hang out with him and all, shake his hand and all that kind of stuff. So if they do a scare event with WW3, it gives the ETs an entry point to come down here, save the day, and say, we stopped the Earthlings from blowing each other up and pushing the nukes. We've been stopping the nukes, and explain the whole thing about how we stopped it. You can't do this. We fixed it. We're going to welcome them, right? Instead of being afraid of them, because they're showing that they want to save us and help us, right? Okay, so that was what came in. And I'm not going to guarantee that this is how it's going to go down. Okay, I'm just telling you this is one very strong, it's very high up on their list because they have a playbook of all the things they're going to be doing to us over the next few years to collapse all the systems. Okay, and they have multiple versions of this playbook. Okay, so it's like, okay, we go with plan A today. No, and we decided we're going to do plan C. No, we're going to do plan D over here. So what Yeshua says is, as of right now, on this trajectory, this timeline, and at the rate we're going, that this is the way it's going to go down. Okay. And it's going to go down this year. It's going to be, I'm not telling you the exact date, but it's this year. It's going to be the fake thing. And then it's going to be the star beings coming down and saving our asses. Or there is a possibility it's the fake thing and then some other miraculous thing happens that stops it, but that's the most likely scenario that I'm giving you. Okay, the most likely scenario. All right, so then there's lies being spread all over the internet about how the poles are going to shift, and there's ships that are going to take us up, or there's going to be this big catastrophic thing, and there's going to be all these ships, and that we have to go on the ships, and if we don't go on the ships we're going to die, and yada yada. And the only way to go to New York is, or New Earth, I'm sorry, not New York, New Earth. I don't know why I have New York on my mind. The only way to go to New Earth is that you have to hop on a ship and go to the New Earth. Okay, so I already knew this was a lie because I've been told about this already for 4 years, but I am what you call a doubter, Thomas the Doubter person. And so I wanted to make sure. I got an eyelash in this eye. I don't know what's going on with the eyelashes. It could just be a hair too. I don't know. I get hairs on my eyes too. Luckily, I don't have eye makeup on at all, so I can rub my eyes all I want. What was I saying? Okay, so there's people who are spreading information that the 5D Earth is a separate place and we have to get on a ship and go there. Okay, and years ago, and all of you who have been following me since 2019, 2020, who've read Ascension 101 book that I wrote, you know that I said, and that Yeshua came to me and said, we are bringing heaven back to, he's restoring heaven to earth. He said that it was going to be New Shambhala, which is his kingdom of peace. It was going to be basically just like how Atlantis was before the downfall. We're going to rebuild it. It's going to be this beautiful earth. Mother Gaia is like a gemstone in the universe. All of the ETs have been vacationing here for billions of years and living here. In fact, they've been fighting over this place because it's a stop. It has portals where people go from place to place here. And there's a lot of reasons of importance of planet Earth. Planet Earth is one of the most important places in the universe. Okay. They're not going to let anything fully destroy it. Now, are we going to have earthquakes and volcanoes and that kind of stuff? Absolutely. Is the whole planet going to be destroyed? Absolutely not. So I even asked about that, if the planet was going to be destroyed. He said no. Okay, so I had heard all these videos again of people saying we have to go up in the ships and yada yada. So I asked him, I said, am I going to have to go up in a ship? And he said, no. In fact, I asked him, am I going to go up in a starship anytime in this life, in this human body? And he said, no. And I said, does that mean I'm going to die like early? And it's like, no. In fact, I'm going to live to be 364 years old or something like that. Yeah. So I'm going to be 300 and said I'm going to live another 304 years. Yeah. Because we're going to have med beds, and well, our body's going to be a med bed. We're going to go to 5D. Once our body is crystalline and 12 strand, you will live as long as you want in that body. So if you want to live 1,000 years, you live 1,000 years. If you want to live 200 years, it's basically, do you want to stay here or do you want to go somewhere else? If you want to stay here, you live in the body. If you want to go somewhere else, you will just walk out of your body. It'll be, you just walk out. It won't be this thing of, oh, you have this horrible violent death and you die and everybody mourns you. It'll be, your family has a little celebration and you walk out, they have a little party with you there still alive. And then you walk out of your body, everybody claps and is happy for you and excited for you because you're going on to your next adventure. And you keep in touch with them because you'll be able to talk to people on the other side in the future or anywhere they go. Like if your family member leaves here and goes to Zeta Reticuli or Vega or Sirius B, you will be able to chat with them in the future. So I asked, are we going to another planet? And he said, absolutely not. He said, I told you before, Kimberly, heaven is being created on Earth and brought back to Earth again. I'm not going on a ship. And he told me if they try to get people on ships, he said those are the Greys and the Draco, and that they are spoofing people. And he said, do not go on those ships, because if they start telling people you have to come up on a ship now, those are the bad guys. He said the good guys will not be taking people up on ships. The only people that will go on ship with the good guys are people who are here in ground control. There's a lot of light workers that are here that actually have their bodies in pods and stasis pods on ships, and then their consciousness is in an avatar human right now. Those people may decide to go back to their body and go back up on their ship, and they will be free to go. Okay, they will get to decide if they want to stay here or they want to go. I've already talked to several who already know they're going. They're going to go back on their body and go back out into space where they came from, because they don't really like it here. They just came here to help, and they know that it's a temporary job for them, and so they'll go back. So those are the only people who are going on ships. The rest of us that want to stay here and create new Earth is here and now, and on this planet we're going to be healing. The whole planet will be healed. The good ETs have all kinds of equipment and devices to heal the water, heal the thing that happened in OHIO with the TRAINSs, those things, with explosions and chemicals. Yeah. That kind of stuff actually can get cleaned up very easily. It's kind of like Victoria Reynolds said a long time ago in videos with me, and stuff she heard from her team when she talked to them, was cleanup is a snap, is what they said to her. Cleanup is a snap. And they showed her, snap your finger and everything's clean, because they have devices that can clean everything. This planet will be cleaned. It will be repaired. It will be mended. It will be healed. I ask, does Gaia Earth that we're on, does she still have a consciousness and a soul, or has that left? And he said, no, she still has her same consciousness and same soul. She's not going anywhere for now. So, so we are going to heal her. We're going to work together symbiotically with her, or synergistically with her, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to heal her. And she's going to be beautiful. She's going to be back to her original glory. And like 1,000 years from now, you will never know all this bad stuff happened on this earth, with cities everywhere and chopping down rainforests and all these things that they've done, oil spills and mucking up all the water all over the planet. That won't exist anymore in the future. That won't even exist in 100 years from now. That'll be long gone. So just know that. Okay, so we're not going to be going up on ships. So in the coming year, as crazy stuff goes down, if you have an opportunity where the ships want you to come up, no, you say, I do not consent, and don't do it. Okay, because those are bad guys. Those are not good guys. Bad guys won't do it. The people who are going up on ships now that are the good guy ships are the people who are actually ETs, who, like I said, their consciousness is in an avatar, and they're able to go back and forth at night when they're sleeping between their ship. They can actually, their consciousness is able to travel up to the ship at night. I have a lot of clients like this that do this. They're traveling up to their ship at night. They're gathering information. Because they're like spies here. They're kind of like watching everything going on, or watchers, whatever you want to call them. They go back up and then they give the information, and then they come back down again. So that's what's happening with that. Otherwise, if somebody actually beams you into a ship or does something to you, chances are they're very bad, and you have to say, I do not consent. Okay. Next question. My question, and many people's questions, is, will we get to see Agartha? And will we get to know about Agartha? And will we get to actually visit it? So we may know about it in the coming years, but to actually go there and visit it will not be until, as of on this timeline we're on, it won't be till 2075. So in 2075, we will get to physically go into Agartha and visit it. That's because we will be everyone on Earth will be fully transcended and able to do it, because you have to be in a light body or a really high frequency in order to go down there in the first place. So we would have to have everybody all on the same sheet of paper on Earth here. And as we go into this ascension, you're going to have a mix of people. You're going to have 4D people, 5D people, 60, 70, whatever, all together. In the future, when everybody's all completely the high density, then they will be able to go to Agartha. And Yeshua's estimating this as the year 2075 in Earth years. So I just wanted to say that. I asked when all the bad guys were going to be gone. I got a date on that. I'm not allowed to tell you, but a very, very good chance it's this year. Okay. So bad guys will all be gone this year. Not allowed to say a date. Every time we say a date, it screws everything up, because because the bad guys listen to everybody's videos and monitor everything, and you don't want to alert them to when things are going to happen. So very good chance it's this year. They will be gone. They're going soon. They're all going to be gone. We won't have to deal with them anymore. Now, if you ask where are they going, the really, really horrible ones that have turned their back on God over and over, the ones that keep recycling in as dictators, and like the leaders of these countries that are the head Draco shapeshifters, that like your Hitlers and Mussolinis and all those guys that keep recycling over and over, and they have their full memories of who they are. They know they're here to enslave people, and they come back in with their memories, and they do the re-enslaving and murdering and depopulating over and over and over again. Those guys will actually be obliterated. Their soul will be obliterated and recycled back to source, because they're unredeemable. They have no compassion at all, and they have no capacity for love or anything. They're totally unrehabable. They've completely turned their back on God permanently, kind of like Lucifer did. So they're totally unredeemable. And Satan and Moloch and Baal and Baphomet, all those guys are all being recycled back to source, because there is no rehabbing for these guys. They're that freaking evil. Okay. The rest of the bad guys, like all the minions under the bad guys, if any of them are, how do you want to say, rehabable, you can rehab them, meaning you can eventually get them to come back to God. They have a chance that there's a little sparkle light still in them. There's still that little tiny sparkle light, that it's possible, even though in this body, in this life, they have no compassion, no love. They're just killing machines, sociopaths, narcissists, whatever. All those people, and also just the haters. I've said this over and over again, the people who are the racist, haters, pedos, murderers, thieves, drug dealers, just mean people who are just hateful, mean people who make everybody miserable. Anybody who just purposely harms other people, anyone who is just a nasty person, who's not what we call service to others. If they're not service to others, if they're not 528 hertz and higher, and that is the love frequency. If they're not in a love frequency and higher, they're in total fear frequency, and they're just not able to get out of it. They will all be going and ported off. They will be going actually up in those ships. Okay. They will be going up in the ships. They will be going to Ezekiel's wheel. It's bright green fluorescent. If you've ever looked up at the sky and you've seen a round rotating ball, all the psychic people I know have seen this thing. It's like a round rotating ball looking object that's to the left of the sun. It's almost the size of Earth. It's huge. It may even be bigger than Earth. I don't know, but it's Ezekiel's wheel. It's a ship, and it has a holograph of Earth on board. All of the souls that are not ready to ascend, or that are not nice, they will be going there for processing, and then they will be sent to another third density planet, where they will be locked down for 26,000 years until the next ascension cycle. Why 26,000 years? Because we go through an ascension every 26,000 years. And so if you miss it, then you don't get to do it again until 26,000 years from now. So they will go there. That's what will happen. All right. So I asked Yeshua, I said, are all the bad people on this earth still being sent to the 3D planet? He said, yes. I said, are any of us going to be sent to another planet? He said, no. And when I say us, I'm talking light workers, starseeds, loving, nice people who are not awake right now. If you have family members who are friends or neighbors who they're not awake, but they're nice people, they will be staying here with us. It's just that they will go to the next level up, and we will be their teachers. We will all be their teachers. So if you're awake right now, you're going to be a teacher. All right. I'm just letting you know that. So be warned. You will be hand-holding, counseling, teaching people, because there's a small percentage of us. It's only 15%. So 15% of all of humanity is fully awake right now. Okay. 15%. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a hell of a lot when you talk about 8 billion people, 15% of 8 billion. But then that means there's 85% that aren't. And so, of course, there's a huge portion of that. 33% of the whole population will be leaving. Okay. So when all is said and done, between the beginning of 2019 and now. And then in the next year or two, the total people gone will be 33% of the Earth population. And it started depopulating in 2019-ish, okay, the end of 2019. So there'll be 33% leaving, the rest will be staying. And then out of that percent, there's going to be some of us that are going to be the teachers and the counselors, and that's all the awake people. And the ones that are newly awake after the big event happens, then we're going to be counseling them. We're going to be teaching them. So all the stuff I do with you all, you guys have to read my books, because the books are going to give you all the information you need to arm you and to help people. So like, if you want to know info to deal with Christians, you need to read my new book, Walking with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, because it's got the whole truth of their lives and the Bible stuff and all that you're going to need to relay to people when they wake up, when they have their big awakening. And then The Real Fountain of Youth is a whole body, mind, spirit healing book and stress management book. And then Ascension 101 is a whole spiritual guidebook. It's so important for anybody who's newly awake, and even people who've been awake forever, because there's channeled info in there that even the highest level light workers and psychics don't even know this information, because I got it from the boss. I channeled new information. It's brand new information, a lot of it. Then there's still some info in there that other people know too. And I get calls all the time and messages and texts from people who do the same work I do, that are spiritual teachers and psychics, saying, I really loved your book. I knew some of the stuff in that book already, but there was so much new stuff that I learned that I had no clue about. And so I hear that all the time. So that is important for you to study both of those, all three of those books, because then when people wake up, you can use the knowledge that you gained from or gleaned from those books to teach them. And I give you full authority to do that. Okay. To say, hey, based on all these books I read and information I got from Kimberly, this is what's happening. We've been in lockdown 26,000 years. These Draco guys took over, all this, you're able to explain to them what they've been missing when you read the books. And then you can also teach them how to raise their vibration and how to be happy for the rest of their life, and all the things that I have in these books that are important. It's important spiritual teaching. So, okay. I asked when the big mass awakening of everybody was going to be. And I got a date, and I'm not allowed to tell. I was sworn to secrecy on all these dates for multiple reasons I'm not going to go into. The biggest one of all is because when we put the date out there, it gets thwarted by the bad guys. The other reason is because the dates are kind of, so when they give me dates, like Yeshua gives me a date, he's located physically in seventh dimension, not density. He's like a ninth or 10th density being, but dimension, heaven is located in the seventh dimension. That's where it is. We're in the third dimension. We'll always be in the third dimension. That's a location. Density is a consciousness level. We're going from third density, fear consciousness, to 5 density and higher, 4, 5, and 6 and higher. So he's located in 7th density. So when I asked him when the big mass awakening of all the humans, the asleep humans, like my family, basically, when they will wake up. And what I got is it's coming very soon. Let's just say it's coming very, very, very soon. I'm not going to say the exact date, but we're just going to put our intention out that it happens like this week, next week, whatever. But that's not the exact date of when it's going to happen, but we can all put our intention and our focus and our manifestation. We can manifest it happening faster if we all focus on, we want it to happen now. Like if we say we want this to happen now, we want it now. If we all do that, we want everyone to mass awake now, then we have a better chance of it happening. So it is coming. It's coming soon. I asked if the polls were ever going to shift. That was a big question I asked, because there's a lot of people spreading that information. And the answer to the question is there will not be a pole shift in my lifetime or your lifetime, but there is going to be a pole shift 50,000 years from now. That's what he said. He said in about 50,000 years from now, the poles will completely shift. But in our lifetime, that won't happen. And he said, and the reason why for that is because as of right now, if they completely shift the poles, every living person on this earth is dead. That's it. That's the end of humans. It's the end of animals. It's the end of everything. We all die. Our whole civilization's dead. We're gone. Okay. So that is the biggest reason why you can't, I mean, the only people who would possibly survive a pole shift would be people in submarines under the ocean, because the water kind of protects them, encapsulates and protects that sub. And if the pole shift, it would be like taking a container of water, a closed container of water, and flipping it upside down. The water is, you can put something in the water. So let's say I put this crystal thing inside of the water, and I tip it upside down. The crystal will not break. It won't be harmed. It'll be perfectly fine. It will just be jarred around a little. And if it has a consciousness, it may not like that, but it won't be dead. Okay. So the only people who would survive a pole shift would be people encapsulated in submarines deep in the ocean. Everybody else would be dead. Okay. So there's not going to be a major pole shift. I mean, even Agartha would be dead. They'd be dead there, because you have to understand that inside Agartha, they have oceans, lakes, as above, so below. They have mountains, they have streams, they have lakes, they have rivers, they have oceans. They even have their own sun, just like we do. It's like a copy of us, and it's just like us. So if you were to flip everything, it's going to kill all of them too. It would basically kill every living being in the earth. Okay. It also would mess up the whole solar system. It would cause a ripple effect. So it will happen, but it won't happen until 50,000 years from now. And then we will be prepared, because humanity won't even really be here that much anyways. We'll be out in space. And actually at that point, the cities will all be floating. And so the people will just be up in the floating cities. And it would be similar to, you're up in a spaceship watching the earth flip. Everybody will be fine. So, so that's what's going to happen. Okay. Now to get into the messages that he had for you, I had oh, this is so weird. When he was talking to me, he was actually talking to me in his language. Part of it was like in Aramaic and stuff, because he was trying to like articulate stuff into English, because he speaks, his language when he was here was Aramaic, and then when he's in the other realms, they speak whatever light language, whatever. He's from Sirius B, so his language is probably Sirius B language. So he was kind of saying it half in English, half in that. And I told him, I go, can you please do the whole thing? I said, I haven't gotten back my full memories yet. So until I get my full memories back and I'm able to speak in those languages of where I came from Sirius B, because I think he forgets that I've been down here for a long time and I don't have my memory back. And so I'm like, can you please do it all in English? And he said, okay. So I'm going to have my tissue ready in case I like lose my shit here. So here's the messages for all of humanity from Yeshua. Okay. So I got to breathe through this, because it's always like really hard. All right. So he said, have faith. That was the first one. He said, have faith. He said, heaven is where I am. He's in heaven. So he's not here like physically on the planet right now. He's in heaven. He said, heaven is where I am. He said, everything is having a victory. Victory is coming soon. Victory soon. Everything is having a victory. So what does he mean by everything? Everything, like all the systems, all of the people, all the planet, everything in our solar system actually is going to be celebrating in this victory that's coming. It's going to be, everything is going to have a victory. He's not kidding when he says that. So everything is having a victory, and the victory is soon. Okay. And then he was trying to say, he was actually joking. So he has a huge sense of humor, and he'll tease me from time to time, and he'll say goofy things, and he loves to joke around. Like many years ago, when I was having a session with a healer who didn't even know him. She wasn't even a Christian, never read the Bible, didn't even know him, didn't even know really what he really looked like. and she was doing healing on me, and I'm on the table, I'm laying on the table, and he appeared standing next to me, and she could see him. And he appears for people whenever I'm with people, certain people, he will just appear and people will see him and they'll be like, oh my God, this man is standing next to you, and they don't know who he is. And I'm like, describe him. And then they describe him, and I'm like, yeah, that's Yeshua. So people see him all the time when he's with me. When they're with me, they see him. And so I was on the table, and what's funny about it is what came out, because it was a body talk session, and what came out is had to do with my kids, just being brats. They were teenagers at the time, and they were just being little jerks. And so he was being really funny, and he was like, just throw your head back and laugh. Just throw your head back and laugh. And we're like, why? And he said, because they are just like little kindergartners. They're baby souls. He said, they're just like little preschoolers. He said, just laugh at them because they're just like little goofy preschoolers. Because he has an amazing sense of humor. And just remember that humor is a litmus test of your sanity. If you have zero sense of humor, supposedly it means you're mentally insane. So just keep that in mind. If you can't laugh at something, anything, and it doesn't matter if it's the same sense of humor as mine, something that makes me laugh may not make you laugh, and that's okay. But if you don't laugh at anything ever, that's actually a sign of mental illness. All right. So humor is healing. Laughter heals. Laughter is the best medicine, and laughter heals. That's why Patch Adams to this day still goes around to hospitals and does comedy healing with people, especially kids. Okay. So he was making fun. He was kind of joking around, and he was calling me the heavenly, he's woo-woo something. He was making fun, and I'm like, what are you trying to say? He said, just tell them. He said, just tell them from your heavenly guru. He said, he called himself the heaven guru, actually, is what he said. Heaven guru. He said, have health, have peace, have victory, and okay, sorry, I've got it. Have health, have peace, have victory. And this is a message to all of you, okay? Have health, have peace, have victory, fear not. I said, okay, just sorry, I've got to calm myself down here. My heart's like going crazy. He said, I am coming with angels and with the heavenly host. God. Okay, I mean, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Said, I am coming with angels and with the heavenly host. Why is this so important? Because he told me, I said this in my book, that he was not going to come back here again until we were completely in 5D. Well, there's a little bit of a hitch here. You see, our planet has gone into such horrible turmoil and such disgusting mess since between when I wrote the book and talked to him and now, that the heavenly beings are not going to put up with this shit anymore. Because, and this is going to sound really mean, but the white hats of so-called white hats or alliance have epically failed. They haven't done anything good for us other than rescue kids out of tunnels. That's about all they've done, and prevent lots of bioweapon attacks, and that's about it. They haven't taken down the media. They haven't taken down the pokies and stopped that whole thing. There's so many things they haven't done. They have their fake governments, their fake politicians, all their actors, all the pedophilia stuff in Hollywood, and on and on and on. They have nothing of that. It's still all going. It's still going, and more things keep coming, and they have more attacks on the pipeline. Like, there's actually a lot of planned attacks that the bad guys have, and all these bad guys are still the minions of the bad guys, even though there's a pyramid and the bad guys at the top. And no, I'm not doing Illuminati signaling. I know all about that.
there's a pyramid, okay, and the top is the bad guys. The rulers have been snuffed out and sent recycled already. Not all of them, but most of them. But all the minions are down at the bottom, and they all were given marching orders ahead of time to go blow up this, go kill these people, go do this, go do an earthquake here, do a weapon here, do a bio thing here, do more of these things. They have it all. They have their playbook all planned. Well, the problem is there's millions of these people, these bad guys, and they're all over the earth, and it's almost impossible to get rid of them. So the only way, it's kind of like when your house is infested with carpenter ants, and let's say you had millions of carpenter ants, you wouldn't be able to individually go and scoop up each of their nests. You would have to bomb the whole house. You'd have to do a insect bomb, and you would have to tent the house, and you would have to blow the whole house up with a tent bomb for insects to kill all the ants. So that is what Yeshua is doing. He's coming back, and I asked him if he was going to be physically coming back, like the whole thing where people keep expecting for a new savior to be born again and all that, and in a body. He's not coming in a body. That he said he can't walk. He said he still cannot walk amongst us until we're in 5D. And that is the truth. He's not going to walk amongst us until we're in 5D. How is he coming back then? He's coming back in his astral spiritual body, spirit body, and he's coming back as a holograph. He'll be holographic to all of us. We'll all be able, he told me that everyone on earth is going to be able to see him. Everyone on earth will see him, and he will be like a holograph. And we'll all see him, but he's coming back in his astral, like his light body, with the host of heaven. He said the heavenly host and the angels. He's coming back. So, and I'm sorry for being an emotional basket case on video, but when I get these messages for him, it's really overwhelming. Because I wasn't expecting for him to say that to me ever, especially because he told me the last time we talked, he's like, oh, no, I'm not coming back down there again because they'll just kill me again. And he was kind of being funny about it, but serious too. And he's like, why should I come back down there? They're just going to kill me, So, so I didn't think he was going to come back, because we keep being told that we are here to usher in Christ consciousness. When I say we, I mean like the light workers and star seeds. We're here to usher in the Christ consciousness and the second coming. We are the second coming. And he says that still is true. We are still ushering in the Christ consciousness and the second coming. But he, unfortunately, because things have degraded so badly here, and because the so-called alliance is just epically failing at stopping all of this from proceeding, while people are keeling over from myocarditis on the playing field, everywhere people are, all over the place, just keeling over, from, this thing, pokey, and nothing's stopping it. So he basically, he doesn't have any choice. He's got to come back here at this point and kick some ass. So he's coming with the angels and the heavenly host. Just know this. Have health, have peace, have victory, have faith. And heaven is where he is now, but he's coming. And he said everything is having a victory, and victory is soon. And that was his messages. And try not to cry again like a blubbery old lady. Okay. Thank you all for joining me on my channel. My 2 books, please recommend them to people who need them. They're both very healing and very important. Anybody who who is open-minded and needs that information, they're both on Amazon. My book, Walking with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, has a link in the description of this video. That is a PDF, and you pay for it on the link, and then I email you the PDF in 1 to 3 days. And again, the reason why I can't do print version is because I would have to do it through a publishing company in order to do that, and then it would be made public to the world, and that cannot be made public to the world because it is highly controversial and highly dangerous to put that into the world right now at this time. It can only go into the spiritual community. So Thank you all. If you like the work I do, feel free to donate. I put in probably sometimes as much as 20 hours a week or more of my personal time to do videos on this channel and others, especially like, and that's including like even sitting and getting this information from him for you. I did this for all you guys. I sat, and that takes my time, and then doing the videos, and then, you know, editing or whatever and uploading. I put in definitely at least 20 hours a week, and I don't get paid for any of that. I don't have the videos monetized where I get a paycheck. And even if I did, they're, what do you call, shadow banning me all over all of these video deals. And so I wouldn't get paid anyways, whether if I wanted to or not. So if you wish to donate, there's links down below in the description so you can do that. And thank you for joining me. I hope this was helpful for all of you. And remember, do not go in ships. If they say there's World War III and we're being invaded, ignore it. It's not happening. It's a way to get you locked down, and everything's going to be good. I love you all. Namaste. Thank you for supporting this channel and my work, and I'll see you all next time.